We have been full-timer RVers for how long now?
7 years?
7 years, yeah, almost 7 years. Almost 7 years.
Yeah.
Living full-time in our RV. And we have a small little list of things that we used to do when we were newbies that we do not do anymore.
We had to do these things.
These were just things that we just had to do. This was the way to do them.
But now,
But we don't do them that way anymore.
throw them out. You ready?
Here we go.
Sunsets like a tangerine. Let's find a road we've never seen. Life is short, make it sweet.
One of the biggest things was every single time we went to an RV park, we had to hook up to cable TV, which meant getting into this bin, getting our cable TV wires out, running them down through the hole and hooking them up at the RV park. But now, don't need it anymore. Why? Because we don't hook up to cable TV anymore. We don't need it. We just stream everything every single time. And since we stream everything, we can't even remember the last time we cranked up our TV antenna, much less using the booster, because we don't watch over-the-air TV anymore. We don't watch cable TV. We never watch over-the-air TV. I'm actually thinking about taking this thing out and removing the antenna, because it's so useless now.
And now, if we are stopped for a night or two or even 3, we don't even bother taking down the TV. We use the laptop computer or our tablet and we watch our stream shows that way. The TV, when we travel, is wrapped with the blanket and strapped down with a strap. So we don't unwrap and unstrap to watch our TV shows anymore if we're only going to be somewhere for a few nights. And now that we have those, we don't feel the need to have to be at an RV park all the time. When we first started out, Tom was insistent. He was not camping. We were going to have to be in RV parks all the time. But now that we have our solar, we don't feel the need for that hardly anymore. Also in the beginning, I felt the need to have to hang everything up, pack everything away, and then re-unpack it, even if we were only staying for a few days, such as this antique barometer. However, I have found a way to have it attached to the wall where I don't have to take it down and wrap it up anymore. I have used, and I don't use command strips. They don't stay, especially on our wallpaper walls. So I use the cup hooks and museum putty and thumbtacks. And so far that has worked for us. Some things stay on the wall, such as our cardinals.
Banner.
That stays up there all the time because it's just on a push pin. So there's a few other things around here that stay up on the wall, and I don't have to take it up and down all the time.
What about this clock over here on the wall?
I take the clock down because it will fall down.
Ah.
It's on like a nail or something. But I just take it down. That's the only thing I really remove all the time now. Another thing I used to feel the need to do was unpack every single bowl and every single cup and every single plate. Now, I only unwrap what I'm going to use at a time. And that works just fine. I use the shelf liner as padding and only unwrap what I need at the time. This is our patio set we have now.
And the reason it's different,
Well, when we started, we had a nice folding table with a glass top, and we had 4 chairs, and we used to set it all up. It fit in our basement.
Glass. It had a glass top, believe it or not. And we traveled with that.
We padded it with cardboard, but we only traveled with that for 1 year, and then we left it with Ashley and Kent in Bakersfield.
And then we just decided that
We downsized.
downsize, and now we just have a little bitty table for the 2 of us, along with our chairs. And we don't even set these up half the time when we're just staying someplace for a night or 2.
Yep. And we have our TV trays also if we wanted to have something to sit at. In the beginning, when we were always at RV parks, we felt the need we needed to use our microwave all the time. But since the solar, this is what it's used for. It's storage for plates, paper plates and our luncheon plates. And if I have potatoes or sweet potatoes, they go in here too. And that's what we use our microwave for these days. In the beginning, we had 2 desktop computers and 2 little desks that we used to have over there next to that window. And now Tom does his work here on his lap, and I do my work over here. This is my work and crafting area. I'm making cards today. But now we got rid of the desktops, only use our laptops, and this is where Tom is editing.
It's a laptop computer. It's on my lap.
That's right.
No reason to have a desk.
Nope, not anymore. So we got rid of that extra furniture.
And it was so funny because every single stop, even if it was an overnight stop, we had the computers all set up. Because we have to tear them down when we traveled, we set them all back up, even for one night.
Yeah, that was a process. We had these small desks, had one middle drawer. We used to have to take the drawers out, tip the desks over, carefully pack away the monitors and the computers every time we traveled.
It was a process.
Yeah, it was. No more. And a bonus, things we don't do anymore that we used to when we were newbies, is we don't ever stay hooked up to city water. We always use our tank and we use our pump off of it, even at an RV park. One of the reasons is we don't have to worry about pressure. It's not an issue when some of the places have too strong a pressure.
And we have water regulators, but
right,
why deal with it if you don't have to?
And another big one is we don't have to worry about the power going out at an RV park and us not having any water. We had that situation in year 2 where we were at a park that their electricity went out, so we had no power. And 2, they had no water because they had a pump that had to pump the water. So there was no water.
Nobody in the park
had
that was hooked
water.
up to fresh water had any water whatsoever, unless they had it in their freshwater tank.
Yep.
Which at that point, we didn't.
Nope, we didn't. And now we do. So we always have water. We always have consistent pressure. And water pumps aren't that expensive, and they're not that hard to switch out. If you're going to say you're going to wear out your pump.
You don't wear out your water pump.
It's meant to be used. I mean,
It's
these
meant to
are
be used.
recreational vehicles that are meant for recreation where people are not always hooked up and they use their pump all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We just feel more comfortable using it all the time, and we don't ever have a problem of not having water when the park, if we're at one, runs out. And a bonus number 2.
Plus, even
Number
if
2.
we are at an RV, speaking of number 2, even if we are at an RV park, We don't even use the hookup sometimes. Yeah, they've got 50 amp. Are we going to hook up? Maybe.
We only do if we need to.
If
Sometimes
we need to.
We're only at a park for an overnight, and that's to empty tanks and fill up on water.
But if we don't need to empty the tanks, we never even hook up the number 2 pipe.
No.
We just leave it, because we don't have that much in it.
It's not always the first thing we do when we get there, like we used to do.
Used to have to hook everything up real fast.
Yep.
Now, if we know we need power, I go ahead and I hook the power up. I don't even hook up water or the poop pipe. Don't even do it until we're ready to go. Empty tanks, put it away.
Yep.
Boom. We're ready to go.
Yep. So those are just a few of the things that we used to do when we very first started that we don't do anymore. Sometimes you just adapt and your travel ways change.
You evolve.
Your needs change, like needing to have decorations up all the time, or needing to have big desktop desks, or needing desks. We have evolved from that, and the solar has made a huge impact on that.
Mm-hmm.
So those are our things. What are your things that you used to do in the beginning that you don't do anymore?
Let us know in the comments below. We want to hear from you.
Thank you for watching, everybody. Please like, subscribe, comment, share. What else?
That's good enough.
See ya.
Take your banner and raise